galaxy alone, finding planets for the big man to devour. No backup, no squad, just me in space. I remember my life on Earth when I was human. Bills, expectations, people asking what I'm doing with my life. Yeah, I miss those times, kind of. Luckily, I found this gadget on a distant planet. It lets me view any new earthly series, movie, song, or interview I want. So during my breaks, while worlds wait in silence, I tap in with some of the hottest things the Earth world has to offer. And this time, it was J. Cole sitting down with Apple Music, back in the basement where part of the fall off really began. And I'm not gonna lie, that was fire. First off, I had no idea the cover art for the fall off was tied to his actual basement back in Fayetteville. That already changes the whole feeling, because now the album cover ain't just art, it's memory, it's origin, it's where the hunger lived. And that interview being done there, that was smart. Cole in a hoodie, basketball shorts, showing up late, talking calm, talking about donuts in the room. That whole setup felt black as hell in the best way. Like this wasn't some polished, corporate, fake deep music conversation. This felt like somebody finally sat down and said, "Alright bro, tell the truth." And to me, he did. One of the coolest things in the whole interview was hearing that the fall off turned into a 10-year process. 10 years. That's not an album, that's a custody battle. Songs getting made, removed, moved to other projects. Hearing that records like Middle Child, False Prophets, and even songs meant for your eyes only were originally connected to the fall off. That's crazy, because what that tells you is this wasn't some rushed, let me drop because the timeline said I should. Nah, this man was building, cutting, rebuilding, rechecking the foundation. And I respect that, because too many rappers now treat songs like fast food. Microwave it, throw some sauce on it, upload it, go home. Cole is still in there treating rap like carpentry. Like, if this table got one loose leg, he not putting it out. And I love that. Then he starts talking about the drills. That part, I loved. Because now we got context for that 7-minute drill mindset. He basically said he was doing these drills to sharpen his skills back up, trying to regain things he felt he lost. That is real artist talk. That is somebody who still respects the craft enough to admit, I'm good, but I'm not where I want to be yet. And that's why Cole is Cole. Because some rappers reach a certain level and act like the work is beneath them. Cole already rich, respected, solidified, and still in the lab trying to get sharper. Meanwhile, you got other rappers acting like recording for over 30 minutes of slavery. Brother, what? The booth is your job. What are we talking about here? So hearing Cole talk like that, like a student, like a master still chasing mastery, that was refreshing. That's an MC. The hometown stuff hit me too. When he talked about Fayetteville, about how he used to love going back, how it felt good at first, and then eventually the feeling started changing. Man, I felt that, because I remember the same kind of feeling with Chicago. First, home, it's nostalgia, it's memories, it's your old spots, your people, your identity. But then you get older. You build a life somewhere else. Some people back home move forward, some don't. Some are happy for you, some ain't. And suddenly, going home don't feel warm no more. It feels complicated, sometimes heavy, sometimes dangerous. Sometimes, like the old version of your life is standing there asking why you left. That part of the interview was powerful because Cole didn't romanticize it. He said in his song, just like he was saying there, the flame was dying. That's real. Sometimes a place made you, but it can't hold you forever. And if you stay emotionally tied to it too long, you start feeling like your life can't fully move. That was one of the deepest parts of the whole conversation to me. And then when he starts talking about poor thing, safety, the distance from people back home, and how those songs connect, that's the kind of stuff that I love. That layered writing, those little album breadcrumbs, those Easter eggs, that feeling when you realize an artist didn't just make songs, he built a path. That's why albums still matter. Because a playlist can give you vibes, but an album can give you architecture, and the Fall Off got architecture. Now let's get to the part everybody was waiting for, the Kendrick apology. And I'm gonna be real, I know this is not the most popular thing to say, but I respect it. Here's another thing that's not the most popular thing to say. Did the diss sound hard? Because a lot of people said it didn't. To me, yes. Did it catch people off guard when he apologized? Absolutely. Even me, the lonely surfer, drifting through the stars, had to pause the cosmic board for a minute like, oh, he really doing this. But the more he explained it, the more it made sense. He said he did it for the soul, not for the internet, not for the blogs, not because of public pressure, for himself. Because he knew he made that diss from a dark place, a weaker emotion. And he has a real relationship with Kendrick. That takes maturity. And no, hip-hop circles don't always reward maturity. A lot of people want blood, ego, destruction, and a fire-ass tweet. But if you know in your spirit you made the wrong move, what kind of man doubles down just because strangers want content? That's not strength, that's performance. Cole choosing peace over pressure, I respect that. Now I know that's not the popular take. I hear it. This is hip-hop. Battling is part of the culture. You gotta stand on business. I get all of that. But let's be real for a second. This wasn't some random dude throwing shots from across the internet. This was somebody he actually knows. Somebody he built something with. That changes the rules, because it's easy to say, yeah, I'm the best, you trash, your catalog weak, you ain't got it like me. That's easy. But it hit different when you gotta turn around the next week and see that same man in real life. Now it's not music anymore. Now it's awkward. Now you standing there like, wait, you thought my whole career was trash this whole time? That's a different conversation. Cole wasn't conflicted about rap. He was conflicted about respect, about friendship, about peace. Because if you know somebody for real, tearing them down publicly just to win a moment, that don't always sit right. And yeah, choosing love over ego in hip hop, that's not popular, but let's not act like that's weak. That man knew exactly what was coming. The jokes, the think pieces, the he's soft conversations, and he still did what he felt was right. And he did that with millions of people watching. That's pressure, real pressure. So yeah, I respect it, because strength ain't always about who you can tear down. Sometimes it's about what you choose not to destroy. And when he says he's the best, maybe he means on a mic, on a record, on a verse. Like, let's line it up. Everybody bring their best bars and let the work speak. Not let me disrespect my homie just to prove a point. That's a different kind of competition. Especially when he admitted all that backlash messed with him mentally. Because people act like public opinion don't touch artists. Please. You see 1,000 videos telling you you're soft, finished, fake, scared. Yeah, that'll do something to your mind. So hearing him say he had to soul search, ask himself why he even does hip hop, ask himself if he still loved it, that was the most human part of the whole interview, because that question is bigger than rap. A lot of people hit that wall in life. Why am I doing this? Do I still love this? Am I about to go out sad? That's real. And the beautiful part is he found it again. He got back in that basement, started listening deep again, immersed himself again, fell back in love with the art again. That's where I think I Love Her Again comes from. That's where 39 Intro comes from. And thank God, because 39 Intro is my favorite joint on that album. If that man never found his love again, I would have lost my favorite song. And I ain't forgiving that. That part about his stepfather letting him watch and listen to everything as a kid also hit home, because honestly, it's the same, brother. Some of that made me better. Some of that probably explains a few things too. So shout out to the Earth parents who accidentally helped build taste by not policing every little thing. Sometimes chaos is curriculum. And that was my biggest takeaway from this whole interview. Not just that Cole is talented. We knew that. It's that he still cares. He still studies. He still reflects. Still admits when he's wrong. Still goes back to that basement. Still chases that feeling. That's rare. Especially from somebody who really does not have to. A lot of people get successful and start protecting the brand. Cole's still trying to protect the craft. That's the difference. I'm the Lonely Surfer. still riding the cosmic tide, still drifting past worlds that talk too loud, and people who confuse noise for truth. Every once in a while, I find one worth stopping for, but the big man has the address, the coordinates are set. On to the next planet, L Surf.